Shabbat Shalom. Last month we went as a congregation to go see Fiddler on the Roof. It's a story about many things, but one of the main themes is love, right? Love and family and those precious relationships that take us through all of the seasons passing and all the ups and downs of life. And really, so much of the story is we see that powerful force of love and how it's impossible to stop it. First, Tevye doesn't want his daughter to marry the tailor, but eventually he can't help but give in to it, miracle of miracles. And then with all of his other daughters as well. And we also see the power of that love, how that love over years and decades becomes a different kind of love, right? I bake your bread and iron your shirts. If that's not love, what is? But do you love me? And then we also see the power of when that love also can rupture relationships. Laser Wolf, who loses his bride-to-be, and also when it's Tevye's third daughter, whose marriage he does not approve of, and that relationship is ruptured. But it all goes back to what we find in our Parsha, the very beginning of the Torah, Parshat Bereshit, Genesis, where it says, it's not good for Ben Adam, it's not good for a person to be alone. It's not good, lo tov b'adam liot levad. And so the human bond is placed at the very center of our story of how we came to be. And complication and beauty, and Adam and Eve also have a complicated story, but also a beautiful story. And this is what God says, right? It's not good for the human to be alone. I will make a fitting counterpart for him. This is a very strange term, fitting counterpart. In the Hebrew, it's ezer kenegdo. Very strange term. On one hand, it means a helpmate like him. It also means a helpmate against him, in opposition to him, literally. So what does it mean? So Sforno, who's an Italian commentator, he says, why does it say that he has to find a spouse against him? He says, well, it's saying that the only kind of relationship that really works, and what that words mean, kenegdo, why the Torah added that word kenegdo, against or opposite, is that when one is faced with someone of equal power, moral, and ethical weight, then that meeting is called neged, and that's a head-on meeting of wills. And that's what a relationship has to be. It has to be an equal relationship, moral, ethical, and the wills come together. So when it's saying it's not good for a human to be alone, it's saying that that beauty of that relationship, yes, is companionship, yes, is going through the seasons, but there's something more happening. And that's two wills coming together, sometimes coming together peacefully, and sometimes a little bit more challenging. But two individual people, equal, who go on this journey of trying to make each other grow profoundly. And that's what it's about, and that's what he's saying. You need that moral, ethical equality to actually have that growth take place. So our tradition sees the relationship not only as companionship and love, but also as something that's intended to push each person in the party to grow. And that through that dance, through the years, through the decades, through the days, through the hours of the day, that there is both the love of companionship and the beauty of it, but also that power of, through the keneged, through having a person opposite us or with us, meeting of our wills, there's also wisdom that's learned, a joy that's learned, and a deeper self-understanding. Powerful understanding, powerful, challenging, but also wonderfully rewarding. And so when it says we were not meant to be alone in the garden, even less so out of the garden. So we're out of the garden, we need those people next to us who help us walk through life, who make us feel like we're not alone, we're not levad, as Genesis says. And it helps us in that work, in this school of life, of growing a little bit, of meeting us where we are, moral, ethical, intellectual, spiritual. And through that meeting of wills, coming to understand our journey better. And so we do it through our spouses and relationships, but it's also part of having a community. And going back to Fiddler on the Roof, it's also about community. It's also about the big shtetl, where everybody's together in it, whether they like it or not. And everybody is suddenly exposed to views that are not always theirs, and to ways of living that are not always there. And through that friction, they come to better understand who they are and what their place in the world is, how to be fitting helpers for everyone. So may we all learn to be better helpers to those people with whom we share this life, for joy, for peace, and for love.